So here's an epic riddle for you. Why do all the creatures exist? This is so cool. They exist for God's joy and your joy. And they also exist for your faith, for the overall theme of faith that goes through the entire story of God. Okay, so the word creatures equals 110. Divides by 11 and 5, okay, the number of faith and the number of joy, respectively. It equals Christmas, okay? And at Christmas, there is great joy and there's great faith, okay? In fact, the word Christmas is 77 for Christ and 33 for Mass, 2 syllables that divide by 11, the number of faith, okay? And then it all knits together to make stunning multiples of 5s, the number of joy, okay? Christmas, yeah, faith and joy. But creatures, okay? So first of all the creatures exist for God's joy. Now, I'm getting this word from the book of Revelation, where it talks about the 4 living creatures that are created by God, obviously, around his throne, worshiping him nonstop, day and night, saying, holy, holy, holy. Okay, so what do we have here? So the creatures exist for God's joy and your joy. I'm talking all creatures, like every living thing, including you, okay? All the creatures exist for God's joy and your joy. The number 5 we're going to see. And they also exist for the massive overall symphony, the overall massive theme of faith in this entire story which you exist, okay? We've talked already about how God uses animals in your life on a daily basis to declare to you this message of faith. Jesus said, look at the birds. God had me doing this the other day. That says bird watch, which equals double faith. Bird equals 33, sliced in half, BI is 11, RD is 22. Those multiples of 11 point to faith, which is 44, okay? So let's now that you know the revelation, okay, just do the math on the word creatures. Okay, first of all, the 5s for joy. You can really hear the E and the T at the dead center. The most important thing is the dead center, the T, which divides by 5. Creatures, it's the 5th letter in and the 5th letter back. All the creatures exist for God's joy. And when you say the word creatures, you really hear the E, which equals 5. Creatures. And then the T at the dead center is very strong, and you always go to the center, okay? And so, overall, at the center of the word creatures in 5 letters, okay? So the 5 letters at the center of creatures adds to 65, and then the 4-letter bookends makes 45 to give you your 110. A double of 55, okay, it's a great joy number, equals Christmas. And then, and a bunch of other words. And then as for the faith, the multiples of 11 in creatures, you have a dramatic set of letters that God uses everywhere to declare the faith team. The most obvious is the ETS. ETS is faith. URE is another faith, 44, and then the final half of faith is the word car, which equals go, okay? There you go. And it's also the root of the word race, okay? The race of faith, Paul says. We run the race of faith, okay? The root of the word race is R-A-C. So if you say raceth, that's 55, okay? Raceth, the run of faith. There you go, okay? But I took one word. We always go straight to the numbers, and you see God's purpose in all creatures through the numbers themselves. So God's creatures exist for his joy and your joy, and they exist for your faith, for this massive, the creatures exist for the same reason that the stars exist. Remember the stars? In fact, the stars adds to 110, which is the same value as creatures, but it's amazing, okay? Smoking hot, this theme of faith, okay? If you analyze everything, remember your brain equals faith. If you analyze your entire life and think about it long and hard from the day you were born, basically everything that God has been doing in your life up until now has been, well, one of many things he's been doing in your life. It is growing your faith. Your confidence in him, like, and in how good he really is, okay? And based on the fact that your life has improved and gotten better and better over time, like every day with Jesus is sweeter than the last. It's like you have all the faith in the universe that the best is always yet to come. As good as it always is, God is infinite. And anyways, I just wanted to preach on the word creatures because that really jumped out at me.